All right, welcome to the Explainer. If you, or maybe someone you care about, relies on SNAP benefits here in South Dakota, well, you are in the exact right place. Today, we're breaking down the entire recertification process from start to finish, so you can keep those nutritional benefits rolling without missing a single beat. Let's get right into it. Now, I want you to picture this. You're standing at the grocery checkout. Your cart is absolutely loaded. Fresh produce, some lean meats, maybe milk for the kids. You've budgeted the whole thing perfectly. The cashier totals it up, you confidently swipe your EBT card, and the screen blinks. Declined. Oh man, the visible anxiety hits you instantly, right? Panic sets in, the line is backing up behind you. What went wrong? You end up awkwardly leaving the groceries behind. Later on, you check your mail and you realize a crucial, time-sensitive envelope from the Department of Social Services was just buried under a stack of junk mail.
And there's the stark reality. Your SNAP certification expired. It's a genuinely terrifying situation. And honestly, it happens to thousands of families simply because of a missed deadline or a paperwork mix-up. Okay, let's dive into this, because this scenario is completely 100% avoidable. We're going to solve this problem together today and make sure your family's food security is never interrupted.
To make sure that never happens, we're going to follow this simple blueprint today. First, we'll prep your required documents. Next, we'll talk about actually submitting your renewal. Then, acing the DSS interview. After that, overcoming deadlines and denials. And finally, some handy resources and a quick disclaimer. Kicking things off with Section 1, preparing your required documents.
Listen, before you even think about touching a renewal form, getting your paperwork organized is a total game changer. It saves so much stress. The whole process is basically just a reevaluation of your household's finances. I want to break down the math behind your eligibility. There are gross monthly income limits for a standard South Dakota household, which is set at 130% of the federal poverty level. For a single person, you're looking at $1,696. A family of four, it's $3,483. You just add $596 for each additional person. It's absolutely crucial to know that your eligibility is checked against these numbers. But wait, what if your income looks a little too high? Don't count yourself out just yet.
And this brings up a huge myth about SNAP. A lot of folks think it's a one-size-fits-all program, but that is simply not the case. Standard households do have strict income caps and a $3,000 countable asset limit. However, if your household includes someone over 60 or someone with a disability, the rules are actually a lot easier. For those households, the asset limit jumps up to $4,500. So, if you're caring for an aging parent or a disabled family member, getting renewed might be way easier than you initially thought. So what exactly do you need to prove your situation? You might want to grab your phone and take a quick screenshot of this checklist, because you'll definitely want it later. You need a government-approved ID. You'll need proof of income. Pay stubs are ideal, but if you don't have those, your employer can fill out Form EA-324. Oh, and definitely gather your rent or mortgage papers plus your utility bills. Fun fact, high housing costs can actually help your eligibility. And if you're running a side hustle or your own business, you'll just need to submit a self-employment ledger, which is Form EA-320. Get these ready and you are literally ahead of the game. Moving right along to Section 2, submitting your renewal application. Okay, now that our paperwork is totally organized, it's time to take action. The process itself is super straightforward. About 30 days before your benefits expire, DSS is going to send you a notice of expiration. Think of this as your warning bell. When you see it, you need to complete the Economic Assistance Application, also known as Form EA-301, and submit it with the documents we just talked about. And here's a fantastic pro tip. If you're feeling overwhelmed, you can legally designate a trusted friend or family member as an authorized representative. They can actually help you gather everything and fill out this exact form. You really don't have to do it all on your own. When you're ready to hand it all in, you've got three options. You can mail or securely fax it, or you can drop it off in person at any of South Dakota's 42 local DSS offices. But honestly, I want you to focus on that first option. Submitting online through the SDB's portal, that's eportal.sd.gov, is hands down the absolute quickest and most secure way to do this. It skips the mail delays, lets you upload your scans directly, and just gets the whole ball rolling faster. To avoid that grocery store nightmare we talked about earlier, SDB's is definitely your best friend. Next up, Section 3, acing the DSS interview. Now, I know for a lot of people, just hearing the word interview makes their blood pressure spike. But please don't sweat it. 10 to 30. That's how many minutes this mandatory check-in usually takes. It is super brief. And the best part, in South Dakota, this can almost always be done right over the phone. You literally don't even have to leave your living room. The biggest takeaway here is that it's just a check-in. It is definitely not an interrogation. The caseworker isn't trying to trick you or trip you up. They're literally just verifying the info you already put on your application to make sure everything is accurate. Actually, if you forgot a document like a pay stub or a water bill, they'll usually help you figure out how to get it submitted after the call. Just show up, be totally honest, and treat it like a friendly administrative chat.
Let's move to Section 4, overcoming deadlines and denials.
So, what happens if life just gets in the way? Let's talk about the timeline and your contingency plans. As we know, 30 days out, you get your notice. At the end of the month, your certification expires. If you miss that deadline, your benefits stop. But here is the crucial detail. Up to 30 days after your expiration, there's a grace period. If you act fast within that 30-day window and submit what's missing, the state can actually reinstate your benefits. You don't have to start a brand new application from scratch. So yeah, time is of the essence, but all hope is definitely not lost if you're a couple of days late.
Now, what if you do everything perfectly on time, but you get a denial letter? I really want to empower you with this fact. A denial is not the end of the road. If you think there's been a mistake, like maybe they messed up your rent calculations or misunderstood your pay stubs, you have the absolute right to request a fair hearing. A judge will look at your case neutrally. All you have to do is call your local DSS office or just write a quick note asking for the hearing. You absolutely have a voice in this process.
Okay, there is one hurdle you absolutely cannot ignore, and that is a quality control or QC audit. Basically, every month, South Dakota randomly picks SNAP cases for an audit just to make sure the program is running properly. If you get a call from a state specialist for a QC audit, you have to cooperate. You'll need to verify your household size, your bank accounts, your expenses, the whole shebang. If you ignore it or refuse, your benefits are terminated immediately. It's pretty rare, but if it happens to you, make it your top priority.
Finally, Section 5, Resources and Disclaimer.
We want to make sure you have the tools to manage your benefits all year round, not just during renewal time. These are your evergreen resources. Remember that SDBES portal at eaportal.sd.gov? That's not just for applying, it's where you can update your address or report income changes. If you lose your EBT card or need to reset your PIN, you're going to call EBT customer support at 1-800-604-5099. Oh, and you can also manage everything right from your phone using the EBT Edge app or website. Keep this info handy, and you'll always be in the driver's seat.
And all of this leads up to the absolute best day of the month, the 10th. If your renewal goes through and you're approved, your benefits hit your EBT card on the 10th of every single month. Rain or shine, weekends, state holidays, it really doesn't matter. South Dakota drops those funds on the 10th. It is a super reliable schedule that you can confidently build your family's grocery budget around.
Real quick, before we wrap up, I do need to share our official disclaimer. This explainer is for informational purposes only. Look, everyone's financial situation is totally unique, so please make sure you consult official Department of Social Services resources or speak directly with a local benefit specialist in South Dakota for personalized advice regarding your specific case.
So, we end with this critical question. Are you prepared to secure your family's next meal? Seriously, don't let a misplaced envelope lead to that awful panic at the checkout counter. Take control right now. Log into the SDB's portal today, check your expiration date, and just get those documents together. You've got the exact blueprint now to navigate South Dakota SNAP recertification smoothly. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and hey, happy organizing.